Well, hello. Blue Star Deer Womon here for a Get Lit episode. And I'm outside right now and it's raining, drizzling, and I was pondering this insight. I was looking at how we project onto the fabric of the universe, creation, the energetic field. And it occurs to me, I've said this before in so many different ways, but it occurred to me that, the moment that we project our interpretation or our translation of what is this moment, we no sooner do that and we enter it into the fabric of the collective consciousness and awareness, that it truly becomes archaic. The moment we give it form, the moment we give it concept or even words, it's after the fact, it's after creation, it's after source, it's after the existence of plasma, because it's the moment in which the plasma comes into form. The energy field creates a concept. And one of the things I've been paying attention to lately is in my past, I was reflecting on how there are these moments of, feels like something's going to happen. Or we might even say, I feel like today a miracle's going to happen. And we project it into the field. And of course, we're setting intention, and we heighten the possibility of that occurrence if, in fact, we have the awareness to recognize that it has occurred, that it has come into form. And because I've been dedicated to spending more of my quiet time watching impulses, watching intentions and desires just come and go, and I haven't necessarily enthused them, I started to realize that those moments that I used to think, it feels so mysterious right now. Well, now I say out loud, well, that's because we are mysterious. We are the mystery. And I started to look at just those simple projections. We create their existence. Especially when I was younger, I was very intrigued by our extraterrestrials and by visitations of ancestors and spirits that have already passed on, that still coexist, but not necessarily in this visible, physical, human form. And now I think about that and I go, the moment I sense there's a presence, I am beginning to suspect that I create that presence. Not that the presence isn't real, but that I basically, when I acknowledge, wow, I feel like I'm in the company of spirit or spirit council, I enthuse that as so. I create an invitation, and then there it is. And often in the research of extraterrestrials, and I'm just using this one as an example, but often in the research, we are guided to acknowledge that our interdimensional or extraterrestrial relations do exist, and we're reminded to simply acknowledge them, and then you put the word out into the universe, into the field that communication is so, and you invite them. And so, in essence, what I'm really coming to is that the moment I go, Ooh, it feels really mystical and mysterious, like something's going to occur. Well, I've basically have lined up the molecular energetics into the field of what is, and I've invited some mysterious event to occur. However, in order to follow our own pattern of invocations, intention, invitation, you also have to stay very aware and very alert to their occurrence. And often we have a preconceived idea of what that mysterious phenomena can be. And sometimes we actually miss that we put that intention out. We miss the mysterious happening. And sometimes we actually see it. You know, we go, oh my gosh, that's what I was feeling. You know, something occurs and you go, oh yeah, that's it. So it's very, it's a blissful kind of wave when we can get so quiet and begin to recognize that our every thought and every word and every intention is connected to the things that come to fruition. That's why I think it's the Celestine Prophecy reminds us to be impeccable with your thoughts, words, and deeds, because what we put out to the universe comes back to us. And this is how we're co-creators. I think now, in this day and age, we're starting to recognize how we really are affecting the substance, the alchemical substance that creates. And so it's very wise of us to take moments and reflect upon the subtle imagery that's moving through us. Now, we may have a thought, and as we have it, we go, oh, whoa, 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 you know, that's not a good thought, that's negative. And in that very instance, we still have the ability to go, oh, wait, take that out of the law of cause and effect. Take that out. We can negate it, you know, as soon as we see it. Just like when we talk about our interactions with people, we don't want to be holding ill thoughts, and maybe we're not voicing those thoughts, but psychically, telepathically, energetically, we are feeding those thoughts. If we're thinking quietly to ourselves, you know, some judgment of a person, it's really important to keep close watch on those subtle formulations. So, as I was sitting today in the quietude of this day, I also started to get the sense that, you know, this is probably the closest experience to dying. In that when everything else in our being is no longer, we're no longer answering to it, we're no longer impulsing towards a movement or a project or a communication, things start to just fade away. We start to let go. We drop into what I call the mystery, the uncertainty of the moment, when we're not filling it with our human projections. We're not filling it with, you know, I have to go and prepare a meal, or I have a to-do list. You know, that all those projections, we planfully align ourselves with what we're going to move towards next. But in the dying process, we are no longer projecting. We begin to turn inward, and we watch things come and go. We watch our thoughts come and go. And there's a very deep focus to the inner self, to the extent, I would think, that we're really watching our breath go in and our breath go out. So when we start to recognize that in each and every moment we have a clear canvas, we can either paint on it or not. And what happens when you have a clear canvas and you have an impulse and you just breathe, let the impulse go, right? Or you have the canvas and you decide to give it a splash of paint, or you decide to give it a splash of thought. Well, now you're bringing something into fruition. Now you are co-creating in the physical environment and reality. So as we are healthy and we're not necessarily dying in our physical selves, but we've always have talked about death is with every out-breath. Death is a phenomena that we experience in other realms of ourselves, not always necessarily physical. But when we let go of projection and imprinting and co-creating, we come to this space of it's the mystery, it's uncertainty. And I think this is a place that we are approaching more and more as a collective of finding what I call comfort in the mystery. Comfort in not creating, but recognizing we're creators. Comfort in not knowing and choosing to allow that not knowing be a part of who we are. And that tends to give us a certain sense of spaciousness. But I do always come back to that thought of when we come out of the mystery, when we imprint, the moment we imprint, it's already archaic. It's archaic in relation to creation. It already comes after. And it's just a fine little subtle experience to explore. But I did want to take some moments to share this with you. And again, this is a Get Lit episode, and I hope that some essence of this sharing of insight gets you lit. So, thanks for today. Love to you all. Stay peaceful.